morning, all of you. Today we are going to start the discussions with regard to the technical session for CIT filing. This is very pleasure to us to share our knowledge and guidance to you how CIT filing should be used for your effective and complete manner, right? Then you well aware that all of the CIT taxpayers, company, corporate, and company, you should submit your return on 100% e-filing. Sometimes you may think, right, recently Act would be passed, why it is applicable for the 2021 year, right? It is as a provision under section 113, it's very clear, right? If any submissions after 1st April 2021 with regard to the corporate income tax, right, you have to submit through the e-service. That is a requirement, right? First of all, I will suppose to discuss small idea about that. What are the concepts we mainly consider when we are doing the develop the CIT return, as well as when we are develop the e-service, right? With that concern, sometimes you may got idea that would be very useful to you when you are submitting your e-service, right? Then first point is that we try to adapt the legislation requirement as much as possible, right? Actually, then you have to submit the return, income tax return, as a requirement, legislation requirement. Then when we are developing the CIT return, we try to adhere all the relevant or all the applicable requirement within this developed schedules and subschedules as well as the return. The second one is that we mainly concern how we can simplify, but it doesn't mean return would not be a comprehensive return, right? We need to maintain, we need to develop the comprehensive return, as well as for the taxpayer side, we try to provide some sort of simplicity for when they are doing the e-filing, right? Then third one mainly concerned about the flow, how we maintain the flow, right? Then our balanced discussions you may really understand, right? Firstly, what you have to do is you have to prepare the tax computations, then you have to complete your subschedules, right? Thereafter, these subschedules would get in the details for the main schedules, right? After completing the main schedules, then you can complete the return. Likewise, there should be having the proper flow with by applying this proper flow, then easily you can complete the CIT return, right? And we need to collect the required documents, right? Then for that purpose, on same times or before and after, right, you would have the facility to upload the documents, right? But for the security reasons, we limit this uploading capacity up to 100 MB, right? If one time, right, later or after, you can submit your upload your documents by using the e-service. You need not to come to the department and submit the documents, right? That facility you have not only for the return submissions, right? It may be applicable for audit or appeal, every point of view, right? If you are having the PIN number, right, you can log into the your accounts and you can submit the documents by using the schedules and document uploading UI, right? That is a way you can do that. At same times, when you are submitting the e-service return, there's a space you can upload the documents, right? There's a two-way you can use to upload the documents, right? Then next one is we added the computation, tax computation to the part of the return. Part B consists with the tax computations. Why we added this and what is the main basis, right? If you are concerned about why it is added, right, we can see that with our experience, right, then taxpayer would prepare the tax computations of various ways. Some computation would include the many details, some computation may not be included the details, just having the summarized data, right? Then we need to get this tax computation with some specific standardized format. That is one thing we need to consider. Second one is that as a Illawarra Act number 24 of 2017, it's very clear that, right, then tax computation is to be prepared in a direct method. What is mean direct method? Then directly provide the income and expenses. Finally, we can arrive to the taxable assessable income, right? Then those details we use for the tax return, right? On that basis, we provide the statutory format based on the direct method, right? It doesn't mean you may not been computed by using plus and minus tables, right? You can do that, but as a provisions of the law, and if very clear, section 10 subsection 3 is very clearly mentioned that if you are deducting any expense, you should precisely mention from which section you are going to deduct it. And if you concern about the trading stocks, it is also very clear, right? Then you have to deduct the trading stocks, right, when you are arrived to the assessable income from the business. Likewise, there should be have the clear guidance, right? Tax computation should be based on the direct method. Once it is providing the details based on the direct method, it's very clear, right? On taxpayer side, company side, you would declare your income and expenses clearly. At department side also, when they review the documents, easily they can understand, right? And if just based on the accounts and having the multiple data, right, just only having the adjustment sometimes may not be that much of clear and that much of transparency with regard to the tax computation. Therefore, we implemented tax computation on direct method, right, as a part of the return, right? Then next one is that we try to manage the complexity by using the technology, right? Then you may understand that when you are doing the losses, right, there would have been many rules, right, many shifting of losses here and there, right? By using the technology, right, we try to mitigate the impact, mitigate the complexity, right? Then creating some rules, providing the guidance and all that. But up to now, we have some sort of issue how we can manage manual return and the e-filing return. But on this year onward, that issue may not be arise to us, right? Why? You have to submit your return 100% e-service, right? Therefore, then now this year onward, we can develop further, right? We can develop further how we can reduce the complexity by using the technology, right? Then up to now also, we can develop some great extent, right, by providing the guidelines and by providing the indications and all that, right? With that, we try to mitigate the complexity by developing the technical enhancement, right? Then next one we concern that, right, then while it is a focus for some changes, right, legislation changes, how we can implement those changes on quickly and flexible manner, right? Those are the things we considered. Ultimately, we concern about that if there's any drawbacks from the previous development, how we can overcome this, right? Those are the things actually we already considered with regard to this CIT return development, right? Those things actually used for the e-service, and we develop up to now some extent greater point, right? It doesn't mean, right, it is comprehensive one, right? And when it is developing return submission for 100%, right, then next year onward we can move forward with some further development, right? While you using this CIT e-service this time, if you have some concept or if you have some identifications for regarding the development, please forward to us, right? We can consider your proposals, and when we are developing the next time, definitely we can consider your proposals, right? Then I just focus about the today workshop, how we are going to do that. Firstly, we provide small instructions with regard to the login, right? How we can manage the PIN and SSIDs and administration PIN. Secondly, with the idea how you have to select your CIT return with your own requirements, right? Then just we concern about the procedure of the return submission. Thereafter, by using the example, right? By using example, we deliberate our discussions for regarding tax computations. With that results from the tax computations, we will discuss the return schedule 2 and the balance part, right? This is the our session plan, and at the end we will allocate the time for Q&A, right? While you are hearing this session, if you have any questions, what you have to do is you have to send your Q&A through the chat box, right? While then at the end we can discuss every questions. We will give the answers, right? Depend on the based on the requirement for the 100% EFI, right? Then with that small introductions, I will call upon to the Miss Chamila Kamaratna. She will doing the initial part of with regard to the login as well as the selecting formatting the returns based on your return. Thereafter we will discuss the tax computation and balance part with the based on the example, right? Over to you, Chamila.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. Good morning, all of you. I hope to do the base discussion under the two main topics. What are the main requirements of the e-submission, and also what are the gain of the e-return. Under the main requirement of the e-submission, I will discuss e-login, e-login related error messages, and what are the other information required to fill e-return. Actually, I believe already you have some understanding about this, and mainly e-login. When we talk about the e-login, we can identify two types of accounts for CIT and PIT taxpayers. One is the admin account. The other one is the user accounts. Admin accounts mean authorization of staff tax agent. The role of admin account is actually authorization of user IDs. Then user accounts we can identify under two categories. One is preparer, the other one is approver. Approver means SSID with approver role. Actually, approver we can consider as a super user, because approver can play preparer role as well as approver role. Approver role means return submission role. Then preparer could be either tax agent or authorized person with preparer role. It means SSID with preparer role. But preparer cannot submit the return directly to the department. He has to submit to approver. Then approver can submit to IRB. Okay. I will show this in actual UI. Then here is the click on authorization. I have highlighted in green color. Click on authorization of staff tax agent. You have to log into here by for the admin account. Then you can see the corporate three radio buttons: individual taxpayer, corporate partnership taxpayer, and tax agent. You have to use login with SSID for this place. Okay. Then this is the admin login. You have to submit the required information. Then click on login. Then you can display this UI. Okay. Then this authorization part, you can handle the all authorization duty. Then I will discuss in detail, little bit detail in later with regarding the error. Discuss the error related the error message. Okay. Then I'll move to my presentation. Then my next topic, I hope to discuss error messages at the e-login. What are the error messages you have to face in the e-login? First one is incorrect password. Actually, this may happen both in admin login and user login. If it is happen in admin login, no other solution. You have to get the new PIN from the IRT. Okay, but if it is happen at the user login, you can reset your SSID password by using the admin account. I displayed you to this part. Then you can change the staff. You can use the change staff password menu. Then you can reset the SSID password. Okay. Then second one is maximum concurrent threshold per user has exceeded. This also may happen both in admin and user logins and occurs if the user inputs wrong password couple of times. In this scenario, system suspend the user temporarily. After around 20-30 minutes, system automatically close the session. Then you can try again with correct password. Third one is already logged in. If you exit from the session without proper login out, this error may occur. There is a small bug in the system that is no logout option given here. We have already reported this issue and it will be provided soon in the future. Until then, as a small trick, I will show you a small trick how to overcome this error temporarily. Then you can go to the browser and will show here. Then here, when you log into the system, then you can use the browser address bar and I cleared the last wordings and enter out. Then when I click into the when I click enter, you can properly log out in the session. Then you have to use this small trick by until we resolve this issue. Okay. Next, let's go to the presentation. Then fourth one is user has not been authorized on behalf of this company. This error related only SSID login. The reason are either authorization are not created for this SSID or SSID authorization has already expired. To overcome this error, you can create or extend the authorization using the admin login. Then here, if you have not authorized the SSID, then you can use create staff authorization and using this UI, you can authorize your SSID for the applicable tax type or all tax type as a preparer or as an approver. Then if you have already authorized, but now authorization period has been expired, then you have to go to the view company authorization and you can edit the authorization role and authorization type. You can this is the editable UI. Then update the UI, extend the date, end date, and click on save. After that, you can use the SSID. You can log into the SSID properly. Okay. Then next one, fifth one is user account has been locked out. Then this also this error can occur for the both logins, admin accounts, also user accounts. This is if it is an admin account, this error occur in admin account, you have to get a new PIN from IRD. Then again, you have to reset your password and you can use the account. Then if it is the user account, you can reset the password by using admin login. Change is using the change staff password menu. Then last one is the specific password is expired for security reason. You are required to change at the next login. Then this error may occur if you use the same password without changing for 2 years. Here also, if it is an admin account, you have to get a new PIN. If it is an user account, you can reset your password, your SSID password by yourself using the admin account. Then we'll discuss what are the other informations to fill the corporate income tax return. What are the other information required to fill the corporate income tax return? Mainly activity codes. Activity codes, you can get the this all information you can get IRD web portal. Activity codes available in the user information under economic activity codes, and exemption codes and tax rate codes. You can download from forms and return resident non-resident companies, entities, and corporation. Under that topic, you can download. You can download from the website. Okay. Before entering the data, filling the return, you should aware with what are the related activity codes. What are the if there is exemptions, what are the exemptions you have to claim, and what are the tax rate you tax at the special rate codes. Then you should collect those. Okay. Then we will see what are the gains of e-submission. I will first log into the system. Then I can explain it easily. Then I am logging as a corporate taxpayer. Then I enter relevant details. Wait a minute. I will find the TIN number. Then I enter capture login. Then you can see the what are the available facility from for the approved SSID. Then we are discussing about the gains. Document, first one is document uploading facility at the same time or later. Mr. Mahesh also explained these topics somehow. Then I will show you where we can upload the document. Then you can upload the document at the return submission point, as well as you can submit the document later. Later, if you need to submit later, you can you have to go to the upload schedules and document here. Then select the tax type and upload schedules and document. Then enter the period code, and also then you have to select the document type. Then when you select the document type, subdocuments types are available here. Then you can select the what you need to upload the document. Then you have to select a subdocument type and then go to the select file and upload the select file. Then you can submit those documents. Then when you submitted the document, you can get the acknowledgement for that. Okay. Next one is option to select only the applicable schedule. Actually, this is the most convenient feature of the e-return. Then there is an option given to select the only applicable schedules. There is no need to go through all the schedules. Here you can pick the relevant schedules by answering the qualifying question. Then when we go to the corporate return, then proceed. You can submit the all only relevant information. Then these are the qualifying conditions. Then select the qualifying condition. You can select what are the required schedules. Then as example, this is the company entitled for any tax exemption. Then you have to submit the schedule 1 exempt schedule. Then if you have exempt income, then you can mark as yes. Then that relevant schedule will be displayed. Okay. Then actually this is the most important facility for the e-filing. Otherwise, you have to go through the struggle with all 13, I think 13 schedules. They are in manual return. Then you have to go to here and there for the complete your return. Okay. Then I will mark these as no. So then you should select company resident or non-resident and also company type. Then I will select resident and company. Then then you can appear the main return. Then let's go to the next item. Then next option is ease of calculation. Adopt all calculation rule and more business rule. This facility you can when we discuss in this facility, you have to enter values only for the color cages. Okay. In main return, there is nothing to enter here. Then you need to enter the details only white color cages. Now, I am not going to fill this here. Then I will show a calculation rule. Without filling the declaration page, you can't submit the return. Then for the awareness purpose, I go to the main return and use the hyperlink and came to schedule. These are the white color box. When you enter the sum detail, you have to select the exempt code and then enter the value. Then calculation has come to the here total cage in gray color cages. Then gray color cages will filled by the system. Then this is also gray color cage, and main when we go to the main return, we can see the it's related gray color cage. Then this cage automatically filled by the system. Therefore, it is easy to enter the detail, give the inputs to the return when comparing the manual return. If you use the manual return, you have to use the calculator and you have to write the values each and every cages. Okay. Then I will move to the presentation. Then the other one is more informative and quick guidance, quick help messages, early alerts on mistakes. Then when we go to the main return, e-return, then you can see the blue color icon. Almost all the UI tooltips are given with the blue color info icon. You can see those helpful tips by mouse hovering on that icon. Okay. Then likewise. As well as also alerts are provided for the mistakes or wrong input. So once you rectify those mistakes, only you can proceed further. Then like I already shown in the declaration page. Then these are the declaration page. These are the mandatory fields. You can't skip those to submit the return. When you submit in the return, you have to fill all required fields, and also we have provided these some business rules, and then without rectifying those errors, you can't process further. Then let's go to our presentation. Then next one is I have mentioned as save draft facility. With this save draft facility, you can no need to give all the inputs and submit the return at the same time. You can enter the inputs part by part. Fill one part and save that as a draft, and later on you can continue from point onward. You can see this then again, when I am logging out to back, then you can see the draft record. Okay. Then if you wish to proceed later, you can proceed that point onward. And next one is I have mentioned next one as can remove, refresh draft at any time before submission. If you find some errors, you can delete them and re-enter the correct values. If you have decided to clear all the, then here then I go to the first one. I have entered 100 in XM schedule. Then I remove that. This calculation happened. Then when I click save draft, it has been properly updated. Then I'll go to the main return. Then you can see that this has been properly updated. Then otherwise, if you have decided to clear all entered record, if you need to clear all records, then you can completely flush the draft records and re-enter as a new. I will show this also. In here, then select the tax-free draft record and click on remove button. Then all entered records have been flushed. Okay, then you can appear new return. Then again you can re-enter the value as a new record. Okay. As a final point, I have mentioned better functionality through your organizational protocol. As I have described earlier, with approve and prepare a login, you can function as per your organization protocol as you wish. Okay, then my base introduction as completed. Then we hope to conduct this session, demonstrate the return filling process by using an example. You already aware with that the tax computation has to be done by direct method as per 2017 current law, current act. Then we have included the direct method calculation tax computation into the return as a Schedule 8. Mr. Mahesh will discuss Schedule 8 comprehensively, and first he will explain some example, and by using this that example, we will try to fill the return and submit the return at the end point. Mr. Mahesh, you can take over the session and continue the session. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shamila. Up to now, Ms. Shamila explained about what is the procedures you have to do that. And at the very initial point, I can say that then there's a facility, right? Then you can work as a approver, you can work as a preparer, you can work as a tax agent, right? If you are the audit firm, then you can use as a tax, you can register for tax agent, and you can provide to your client by using this system, develop system, right? Then we have to give the assurance, right? Until you submit the return, department may not be review any document what you enter to the this particular facility provided. That is the assurance we can give, right? Only department can see up to how many number of taxpayers would already save as a draft. Simply we can say status, right? Then what are the status? How many taxpayers already save the draft? How many taxpayer companies they already complete the preparation and send for the approval? Likewise, some areas he can department can see, right? But until submit your tax return, department may not be possible, right? Possible to see the any document, any details what you enter to the returns and what you upload to the system, right? That assurance we can provide that there's a good transparency, right? And they are having some professional ethics, right? What you have to do is at the very beginning, right? Almost you have the 2 months time to deadline of the submission of the return, right? You can open the draft return and you can enter your details step by step, taking some time, right? Then you can complete your tax return, right, without any hazard. And sometimes your assistant or your the tax consultation firm would prepare the tax return, and company authorized person would be review these documents, and finally you would submit the documents, right? Earlier sometimes you would you already do through the mail or sometimes by using the manual documents, right? Firstly, you prepare the first draft, then discuss and do some changes, right? Then secondly, you prepare another one. Likewise, they would have some so many process, right? But this system actually provide the facility, right? You can open the draft and you can do the calculations. You can discuss based on this. Then you can change this value. Thereafter, ultimately you can finalize, and finalized document should be submitted to the department, right? Therefore, for if audit firm people, if you are hear this, right, I will invite you. You have to register as a tax agent, and through this registration, you can provide tax preparation facility through this system without any hazard. You need not to worry about the sending mail, preparation, separate the tax computations, and likewise, right? By using this facility, you can do the works, right? Okay, now we are going to start our discussions based on the tax computations, right? Then, as I mentioned earlier, our workshop mainly focus tax computations. Thereafter, based on these results, we prepare the subschedules. Then we can complete the main schedules. Finally, system itself prepare the details which related for the return. So that is the process we are planning. And when you are doing the your computations, when you are doing your preparation of the returns, we propose that you have to use this process flow. Then easily you can feed the data to the system, and you can get the result, and step by step basis finally you can prepare the return, right? Okay, I'll just before just discuss about the system preparations. I just explained about our example, right? We based on this example we are going to do the calculations, right? Then this is related with 2021 year. This is a resident company, and they are mainly focused for manufacturing of other plastic in the primary forms, right? Those are the basic informations. Then on these questions include some informations that related for first one related for the income, right? Then it's provide the turnover details and gain and profit, right? Then manufacturing of the primary plastic forms. Then they are doing some export activities, but this export business is this year lost, right? Then they are providing the consultant service for 5 million, and they have the small foreign branch, right? Their turnover is 4 million, gain is 1 million, and it is further mentioned that they already paid to 20,000 rupee value as a tax to the foreign country, right? Singapore tax authority. Then there's a consultant service provide outside the Sri Lanka, and they would receive the foreign currency, right? Then as a prevailing sections, right, it can be identified as exempt income, right, from the business. And second part related with the investment, right, dividend income they received, but this dividend declared by this particular company based on the dividend received to this, therefore there's exemption for 2 billion dividends, and they receive the gross dividend 1 million, and this company already provide the consent to deduct the 14% AIT tax, advance income tax, right? Then you can identify there as a tax credit. Then interest income they received and rent income they received. Then they have some realization of investment asset, that means capital gain. There's some capital gain transaction. They they raise the 500,000 capital gain. Then final part is lottery income, right? They receive the lottery 300,000. Sometimes for regarding the company, then winning from lottery may not be much more practicable, but by using this entry, we try to explain how this would be impacted to adjust the final withholding payment, right? This is the only entry we can identify as a present provisions. Okay. Now, second point is we are providing with regard to the details for trading stocks, right? In opening stock balance, due the period, cost of purchases, and closing balances. Actually, this is more or less similar with the cost of sales, right? But when we are doing the final calculation for cost of sale as a LKS 2, right? Then we have to decide the closing stocks, value of the closing stocks by comparing the cost and the net realizable value. But as if you refer with the sections 13, it very clearly mentioned that we have to decide the value for the closing stocks by comparing the cost and the market value, right? There's a small deviation with the tax applications and the accounting applications, right? As a sections 13, it's very clearly mentioned that for the tax purpose, we have to prepare the trading stocks, allowance for trading stocks that should be used for the tax purpose, right? That is also one point, give some proper hints, right? We have to prepare this tax computations based on the direct method, right? Then third point, actually it is included with regard to the repair and improvements, right? Based on the class of the asset, they incurred some expense for repairs and improvements. And second columns, it is mentioned that what are the values we should use as a written down value of the previous end balance, right? By using this, we try to identify the what would be the allowable repair and improvements on this calculations, right? And the next item number 4, provide with regard to research and development expenses, right? They mention about the nature of the research and the institutions of the research institutions, what is the value they incurred, right? And item number 5, provide the details for capital gain, right? Capital gain with regard to asset acquired after 1st April 2018, right? Based on the class of asset, then arrange the what would be the depreciation basis as at 31st March 2020. Then if there's any acquisitions, or either if there's any excess from section 14 from the previous year. Section 14 mainly we discuss about the repair and improvements. When they decide in the previous year, that means 1920, right, repair and improvement, if there's any excess value which it was identified based on the given rule, then it should be considered as a it is considered for this year capitalization value, right? Then second table is mainly focused about the capital allowance still remain asset which has purchased before 1st April 2018. That means this tax allowance for trading stock we have to capital allowance we have to calculate it based on the previous income tax law, right? If you refer with the transactional provision, it is very clear, right? We have to use the previous provisions until complete the entire allowance for depreciations. Therefore, we separately identify these informations, right? Then next one. Next point, provide loss on realization of business asset and liabilities. There's a loan receivables and they recognize to the books as a 4 million, but actually at the point of settle, right, they received only 3.5, right? Then it has raised the losses. It like a capital nature of losses by as a provision of section 17, we can deduct it if this asset or liability is directly related with the business, right? Then item number 7, deliberate about losses, right? Losses for business losses, investment losses, and foreign losses, right? You may well aware that then as a provisions, right, there's a certain conditions to be fulfilled to deduct the losses. But anyhow, as a present law, we can carry forward these losses only for the 6 years time, right? Thereafter, this loss should be identified as a expired loss. Therefore, based on the each and every year of assessment, we should identify the what would be the loss value to be remain and up to what extent we can claim. For that purpose, separately we provide the breakup. These details we can use when we are filling the tax return, right? And item number 8, actually we prepare the small summary details with regard to the deductions expenses by comparing with the accounting preparations, right? Then schedule 8 on subschedules, you have to complete the comparisons with the accounting expenses and the tax deductions, and ultimately you have to identify the any disallowable or excluded expense available, right? For that purpose, for the convenience on this example, already we included the table how we are going to match or summarize or analyze with the accounting expenses, right? Then details 9 include the other informations, right? Then share capital details, reserves, minor reserves, then how it is impacted to calculate the limitations for section 18. Based on these informations, we are going to identify then brought forward finance cost and during the period finance cost, right? And second table under this other informations, it is reflecting the details which related which abstract from the financial statement, right? Financial statement. Okay. Then third table is directly connected with the informations we need to abstract to fill the schedule 9A, right? In addition to that, they are providing some informations. Bad debt written off amount into rupees 1.5 million is available for the tax purpose. Then donations to the COVID fund and donations to the government, this year donations and the previous carry forward balances. Then schedule 10 is provided the details which related for the tax credit, right? Depend on the transaction source income, we identify the what are the credits available for this company. And under item number 11, we just include the taxpayer note, then taxpayer having this specific note, then this note is possible to enter in the return calculations. For that purpose, we already include the note as well, right? Then there's a special note which we included. Why we are including the many informations for this example. Sometimes it may not be really practicable once it is concerned about the one particular company. But by using this example, we try to provide better understanding how we are going to do the computation, how we are going to fill the returns and all that, right? With that concern, with that explanations, right? We supposed to do the computations, right? We will share the documents, part B, schedule 8, right? Based on this schedule 8 preparations, we will discuss how we include these details to schedule 8, right? We are in the return, then clicking on the schedule 8 button, then we are in the schedule 8, right? Schedule 8 mainly focus for regarding the tax computation, right? It is included as a part B of the return, right? Until this year also, this is not mandatory one, but by using this, right, you can quickly prepare your tax computations, and you can clearly provide your details for tax computations. On department side also clearly identified what are the income, what are the expenses taxpayer would going to reduce or deducted, and separate schedules allocated for specific deductions, and try to get the details clearly at the point of submission of the return, right? By using this format, we try to standardize the tax computations, right? Then if you are clearly provide the informations, then department may get the required informations. Then thereafter, officer may not be requesting the many informations time to time. Likewise, based on this purpose, actually this part is included to the tax return. Okay, now we are going to discuss by starting on the schedule 8, right? Then here click the schedule 8, right? Now we are in schedule 8. First part related for income side, right? Based on the given example, right? We are going to capture the data which is related for this preparations, right? Under this first point, we just mentioned about the turnovers and the profit, right? By using the turnovers, we try to identify the what are the income which is related for this particular company, right? This one, manufacturing of plastic, this is the amount they would receive due to considerations for the trading stocks, due to sales, right? Then we can enter to this value to the sales figure, right? And not only that, they are doing some plastic export, and they are doing some branch work, right? By taking entire value, we can identify 809 million value we can take under the 1002 case number, consideration received in respect of the trading stocks, right? Then we concern about the next part. He provide the consultant service. 5 million plus 1 million. 1 million is exempted, but for this preparation, firstly, we should identify this together. 6 million we should enter to the service fee, right? Then likewise, we identified income which related for here. In addition to that, right? By taking these two, we can identify the total amount derived, right? 815 million value we can identify it as a income, right? Those informations we are collecting from the example, right? Okay, now we need to identify the exempt and excluded value, right? Then based on this, we identified, right, 1 million exempt amount available due to providing the foreign consultant service. They would receive the service in remittance through the foreign entity through the bank on the foreign currency. Therefore, with that, then it is take as an exempt amount, right? Okay, based on these identifications, you can complete the exempt amount as a 1 million, right? Then there's no any final withholding value here, right? Then we identify total excluded value as a 1 million. After deducting this amount, right? Finally, we identify the net amount derived as a 814 million, right? Then 814 million value arrived after deducting the 1 million exempt amount, right? Now you can see there's a subschedules, schedule 8A, right? Schedule 8A, actually it is not direct connected with the 814, but on these schedules we try to compare accounting income or turnover with the tax income, right? We start in the gross income as per the income statement. Then under business income, we already identified 814 value, right? Excluding the exempt value. Later, we identify the 4 billion for investment. Once we are deducting the 814 million and 4 million, there was no any value for other income. After that, we can arrive 3.3 million, right? This 3.3 million should be exactly tally with the aggregate value of the exempt and final withholding value with regard to the business and business investment and others, right? By using this 8A, we try to compare with the account applications at the tax preparations, and we try to identify whether this comparison or preparation is totally tally with the given details, right? And if you just concern about the business, we identified 1 million exempt value. Later we consider about the investment income. Then you can identify balance 2.3 million. Altogether 3.3 million we identified as a total excluded amount, right? That preparation should be tally with the given information, right? Okay, we complete the income side. Now we are going to discuss about the expense or deduction side, right? Okay, first point with regard to the schedule 8B, right? Firstly, that is related for the allowance for trading stocks, right? We are opening the schedule 8B. Schedule 8B, we have to include the opening balance, closing balance, and the cost of purchases, right? If you refer with the example item number 2, those details included, right? Then we are adding the 75 million as the opening balance. Then we are adding 625 million as the cost of purchases during the period. Then we deducting 150 million related with the closing stock value, right? Then we arrive 550 million as an allowance for trading stocks. Right? This is more or less similar with the cost of sales, but due to this valuation issues, they are having some deviations, right? Once you complete the schedule 8B, this final value 550 million automatically take to the total calculations. If you just go to the 8, you can see, right, this completed 550 million, right? Sometimes you may think we already prepared these calculations. Yes, reason is that we within this time frame we need to discuss maximum, right? We need not to take the time to enter the data. That's why we already prepared the tax computation details. By using this entered value, we try to explain how actually it is going to do that, right? The second part related for the repair and improvements, schedule 8C, right? Schedule 8C mainly developed based on the class of the asset, right? as a given information of the example. Example, item number 3 mentioned that the amount of incurred, right, repair improvements. Then we entered to the amount incurred value, right? Then we enter the written down value of the previous year end, right? I think you may know the rules, right? Then based on this previous year end depreciable value or written down value, for regarding the class 4 asset, you have to limit to the 5%. For other asset, you have to limit to the 20%, right? By applying this rule, we identify the allowable value, right? Allowable value. Then after comparison amount incurred and allowable value, then we can decide the amount deductible. Right? By comparing these two, we have to get the low value as a amount deductible. Right? Then we identify the amount deductible for all 5 classes. This amount deductible value, we can take the total amount deductible. Right? Same time, right? If you are get these deductions less than the what you incurred, right? This balance value you can carry forward to the next period, right? Then if you just see the second line, right? They incurred 300,000 and only allowed 240, right? Therefore, allow amount deductible 240, balance 600 for this year. It should be identified as a deductible, sorry, disallowable. But we are preparing on direct method. Once we identify the allowable value, that should be adjusted from the income, then we can arrive to the accessible income. But here, by identification of this 60,000 as a excess amount, next year we can add for this relevant asset, right? Likewise, we can identify the what are the amount we are going to deductible as a repair and improvements. What is the value we should identify for next year additions as a section 14 excess amount, right? Now after identify the 15,400,000, now we can move forward, move to the schedule 8 and see whether this value is arise, right? Then under this schedule 8C, you can see 1,540,000 already reflected here, right? Next one related for research and development, 8D, right? We focus for this, right? As a example, they had some research activities. They select the nature of the business. There's a drop down list. Then type of research you can select it, and you can enter the name of the research institutions, and you can enter the amount incurred, right? When you enter the amount incurred, either revenue expenses and capital expenses you can deduct here as a provision of the section 15, right? In addition to that, as a provisions which is provided under schedule 6, temporary concession, you can take another 100% bonus, deductions if they incur the research and development, right? Therefore, they already incurred 1 million research and development. Then based on this, then we are adding the another 100% altogether. They can deduct 2 million as a amount deductible. There was no any other values available. Therefore, we take the total amount deductible as a 2 million, right? Then same time I will suppose to discuss about the agricultural startup, but on this question it is not relevant. Similar applications you have to do that, right? Then you have to select the type of expenditures and amount incurred and amount deductible. After that you can take the total amount deductible, right? If you are having many number of expenses, what you have to do is you have to click the add button, then you can get the another row to enter this value, right? We can complete the research and development, then we move into Moving to the Schedule 8. Right, then you can see under this research and development value reflected as a 2 billion, right? Then there was no any expense for the agricultural startup. Therefore, we move into the allowance, capital allowances, Schedule 8F, right? Schedule 8F having the two part, as I mentioned earlier on this describe about the example. On here, we separately identified asset acquired after 1st April 2018 and asset acquired before 1st April 2018, right? What is the reason? Asset acquired after 1st April 2018, we have to apply the provisions which related for Act number 24 of 2017. If any asset acquired before 1st April 2018, what we have to do is, as a provision of the transactional gazette notifications, still we need to apply the previous tax law provisions, right? Then provisions which connected to the Inland Revenue Act number 10 of 2006, right? This is the thing you have to do that. Same thing it is reflecting on the information's point here, right? You can see, right? Based on this, actually we supposed to separately implement this requirement. Right? First table, based on the class of the asset, you have to complete the details and you have to enter the depreciation basis as at the opening balances, right? And during the period, if there's any acquisitions and any excess from section 14 from the previous year, right? Then finally you can identify the capital allowance claim during the period, right? Then actually this is the bulk value, right? It may be it most probably it may be arise from asset by asset basis, but here you have to complete at the value which is arise from the class by class asset, right? Then first part we completed, total amount deductible we can identify it as a 2,600,000. Then second part with regard to the asset acquired before 1st April 2018, right? It is you have to mention as a bulk value. No need to separate it based on the nature of the classes, right? Then total costs you already identified when you are preparing the schedules returns 18, 19 and 19, 20, right? Then up to 31st March 2020, you can mention what is the value you already claimed and what's the value you are going to claim from this year, and is there any balances you have to mention as a balance column. Then finally you can take the total capital allowance claim during the period that should be reflected in the total amount deductible from the first table and amount claimed during this second table. Like altogether 4.6 million we can identify it here, and now we can move into the schedule 8 and see whether this value is reflecting on the schedule 8. Right, schedule 8 mentioned 4.6 million as the capital allowances. We complete this. There was no detail for the balance in allowance. Then we move into the loss on realization of business asset and liabilities, schedules 8H. Right, schedule 8H is mainly concerned about based on the section 17, right? Section 17, as the details given on the example, there was a foreign loan and already they recognize this loan as a 4 million. Once it is settled, this asset, they only receive 3.5 due to some impact from the foreign currency or whatever thing, right? On this basis, they already incurred 500,000 lost, right? It is like a capital nature loss, but as a section 17, right? Even in the capital nature loss, if it is connected, directly connected with the business, you can claim this loss, right? Separately as a section 17. Right, that's why we here completed the loss value is as a 500,000. This loss value we take the total. This total should be reflecting in the Schedule 8 main phase. Okay, if you go to the Schedule 8, you can see under 8H 500,000 reflected. Then next one is related for section 12 and section 18, right? Then Schedule 8J. You will aware that for regarding the company, right? If there's a share capital and reserves, right? Based on this, if they take in loan through the financial instrument, there's a calculations we have to do that as a section 18. It simply we can say that thing capitalization, right? Then how we can do that on these calculations? Definite is reflecting share capital is 100 million and reserves minus 50,000, right? As a provisions, we should take together and identify the value. If it is manufacturer 3 times, if it is not a manufacturer 4 times. This preparation is related for the manufacturer. Therefore, we take 3 times and identified what would be the maximum value they can take it. And in addition to that, total amount of finance instrument they identified as 175 million. By comparing this, actually this reserve value should be 50 million, right? Then as example, then once deducting 50 million, then remaining value is 50,000. 50,000 into 3, 150, right? 150. Then if 150 is compared with the total amount finance instrument, right? Then excess value is 25 million, right? For this excess value, then whatever the finance cost should be limited, right? But we are preparing on direct method, right? Therefore, we have to identify what would be the finance costs which related for 150 million, right? 150 million. But still you are familiar with the plus minus table. You have to identify the disallowable component, right? But here we are going to identify the allowable component. Through the direct method, we can adjust this allowable component, right? Then brought forward finance cost we identified as 5 million. Brought forward in the sense previous year disallowable one due to excess calculations, right? Then it can be identified and use this brought forward value for within the 6 years time, right? During the period they incurred 20 million value. Altogether 25 million they incurred, right? They incur the 25 million. Then with our calculations we can identify we can identify the 21,428,571 is a allowable finance cost, right? Balance value we should carry forward for the next period, right? Then this allowable value 21,428,571 we should take to the Schedule 8, right? If you just go to the Schedule 8, you can see allowable finance cost reflect as 21,428,521, right? Right. Then Schedule 8 under Schedule 8J, then you can see 21,428,571, right? Actually, losses we discuss later, right? Then we going to discuss about the Schedule 8I. 8I main deductions regarding the business, right? Schedule 8I, actually there's a comparison with the accounting expenses, right? direct operating expenses, administration expenses, selling and distribution, finance cost, other. Likewise, we are going to do the comparisons with the accounts. Okay. Firstly, we enter the data for from the accounts. Thereafter, we can identify the what would be the value we already identified under the specific deductions for the tax purpose. And next line with regard to the main deductions. Then you will aware that under section 11, if you incurred the expenses during this period, and if you incur expense for production of income, and if there's no capital nature expenses, you can deduct. You can deduct as a expense which necessary for do the operations, right? It is not especially addressed from the specific deduction. So if there's no any specific disallowable under section 10, right? Then we completed, then you can get the final answer, remaining value, remaining expense. This remaining expense should be reflecting from the disallowable expenses. It may be include some accounting expense, accounting provisions. Sometimes it may be include the specific disallowable which is identified based on the tax law, right? Those are the thing value should be included here, right? Then there's a requirement. What you have to do is when you submit your tax return, you have to submit the list of disallowable expenses which match with this value, and it should be include the nature of the expenses and amount. This should be uploaded to the return. This should be uploaded to the return, right? Then for actually this is a little work you have to do that, right? But before preparation of the return, definitely you have to complete some sort of calculations. Those information should be included in the return, right? We completed the schedule 8I, and again we move into the schedule 8 and see the balance part, right? You can see on section 19 is actually related with tax computations, right? But when we are developing the return, right, then loss deductions we considered under the part of the return, right, under the schedule 2B, right, to make more concern, and by using the technology we supposed to reduce the complexity. For that purpose, actually it is attached to the schedule 2, right? Therefore, right, when you are identify this value here, right, better if you are going to match with the schedule 2A value, you should not be enter the loss value here. But as a normal application, loss should be here, enter here, and you have to calculate the assessable income by considering the loss, right? But later we discuss how you have to consider the loss, business loss or the investment loss. On that point you can consider, right? Otherwise what happen, whatever the calculation you may here may not be exactly tally with the scheduled date, right? And in addition to that, under section 24, right, is there any disclaimer written off balances you can consider here as other informations you can see, right? On example you can see there's a written down value for 1.5 million we already considered. In addition to that, they provide the informations regarding the gratuity pay, right? There was no specific entry here. What you can do is that there's a blank entries, right? You can enter the name here and you can take the value, right? Then if you not enough this given 3 lines, you can add the another lines as well, right? Based on the type of the entity, actually you can add any other specific expense available. Firstly, what you have to do is that you need to use the specific tables provided based on the type of the expenses. If it is not possible, then you can add new row and enter the value. Actually, this is we prepared by concern about the common applications. Why there's a limitations, always we have to match with the manual return. But next year onward, we can do further development based on the industries and based on the specific practical experience, right? Then definitely we need to improve these computations further. Therefore, if you have any concern, if they have any proposal, please send us. Then we can adhere with and we can evaluate if there's any possibility, and if there's a good concept behind this, definitely we can consider, right? Okay. Thereafter, we can consider the total deductions, right? We take this total value for 2500 cash, right? Then earlier we identify the total income, liable income, net amount derived. Then after deducting this total expense, we can write the assessable income other than the investment incentive, right? Other than the investment incentive. But normally, if you are supposed to compare with this return data, what you have to do is other than the loss also you have to consider, right? And actually investment incentive is related for newly start business, right? Newly start business. Then if newly start a certain condition is satisfied, then you can claim the investment incentive. If there's an investment incentive, you have to enter to the 2700 cash, then you can arrive at the final value, right? After adding this investment incentive, then ultimately you would derive the losses. That loss you can carry forward depend on the specific loss schedules, right? There's a separate loss applications. Later when we discuss about the loss, we can further deliberate these applications. Right, now we complete the amount which related from the business, right? The business. Then we move to the next part for investment income. Right, definitely you would may have some questions with regard to this, right? If so, what you have to do is you have to send through the chat box, right? Once we complete this discussions, definitely we will provide the answer, right? Then we can see the investment income, same structure what we discussed on previously for business income, right? Firstly, we identify the income, then secondly we consider about the exclusions from the income. Thirdly, we concern about the deductions, right? As example, you can see there's a dividend income, interest income, right? Then by concerning the example, we identified a total dividend plus interest income altogether 5.1 million. 5.1 million. In addition to that, they have some gain from realization of investment asset, that means capital gain, 500,000 profit value after deducting the expenses, right? Then they received the lottery winning from lotteries, 300,000, right? Altogether total amount derived is 5.9 million, right? This is we taken from the item number 1 of the example, right? You need not to worry about this example and how you take this example and how we can again we review this, right? After these sessions, right? This video will uploaded to the IRD YouTube channel. You can use this YouTube channel again and again, and you can get the proper idea for regarding this filing of the CIT return, right? Okay, then total amount derived is we take as a 5.9, right? Then out of this value, we are going to exclude the exempt amount and final withholding payment, right? As an example, the 2 million dividend exempted due to dividend declared based on the net dividend received, right? Then 2 million exempted, and 300,000 we take as a final withholding payment that is connected to the winning from lotteries as a section 88. Only now for the resident persons only available this item winning from lotteries, betting and gambling, we take as a final withholding payment, right? Okay, we remove this value, and we can take the total amount excluded, right? Actually, the winning from lotteries we are not supposed to get in as exempt. Why? We hope that there's no any withholding tax deducted, right? If it is actually deducted, and uh, can be taken as a exempt one. Okay, then the total of excluded amount 2.3 million. Then we can identify it after deducting this 2.3. net amount derived as a 3.6, right? Then we concern about the deductible amounts, right? Under section 11, they can deduct the main deductions applications, that mean any income incurred for production of income. This is also directly connected with the schedule 8I, already we discussed under the business income, right? Then if you just go to the schedule 8I, there's a separate line for investment income, right? Same time we analyze with the account applications and identified what are the expense you can categorize as the main deductions. This amount should be taken to the here, right? And there was no any deductions for section 12 and 18. There's no any finance costs which related for this investment income. Then actually loss we can deduct here, but to be supposed to match with the return data, therefore here we are not enter the loss, right? We are remove this loss value, and without this loss we can identify the total deductions, right? And finally we can calculate the value which is related for which is going to enter for schedule 2A, right? Then likewise we can complete the investment income, and there's no any details for the other income, right? There's no any details for the other income. Then we can completed this discussions for the tax computations, right? Based on this informations what we collected, what we entered to the tax computations, we will supposed to use to complete the return data, right? Next I will explain how those informations would consider for return, and how we are going to complete the return data based on the preparations which is connected to the schedule part B of the tax computations. Right now we are in the return, right? Then here all the places in the return, all the cages in the return just reflect as a gray color. That means you may not possible to enter any value here. What you have to do is you have to complete the subschedules and the schedules. Then automatically system identify the value which is connected to the return, right? Firstly, I suppose to explain the schedule 1. Schedule 1, right? Schedule 1 include we should include the exempt value. I just explained about the structure of this schedule 1. Schedule 1 having the 4 parts. Schedule 1A, B, C, and D. A, B, and C is you have to enter about the income and profit, right? D reflecting about the losses. If you incurred any losses, exempt losses, you have to mention under the schedule 1D, right? Based on the item, you can select the respective sections which related for your exempt loss, and you have to enter the loss, right? Now we concern about the schedule 1A, B, and C, right? Under A, we have to mention about the exemption amount which arise from the Inland Revenue Act number 24 of 2017, right? Then if you claim any exemption, what you have to do is you have to select the item in the sense of relevant section, right? Here then we are going to identify the foreign service provide, right? Here this select the section, and it's reflecting that gain and profit earned from the delivery of any service from the outside Sri Lanka, right? Then 1 million we identified as exemption. Then second one is related for dividend. They receive the 2 million dividend, right? It is mentioned on the second line. Both related with provision of Inland Revenue Act number 24 of 2017, right? So then we complete the schedule 1A. Schedule 1B is related for exemption which connected with the previous income tax law, right? 11 Act number 10 of 2006, right? This is still applicable due to provision of the translation provision gazette notification. But on this case, there was no any items which connected for this schedule 1B, right? Then schedule 1C related for the loss exemptions which you still entertain from the BOI Act, right? BOI Act. Then you have to mention about the details for the BOI Act. I think you already entered the details for schedule return 1819 and 1920, right? You have to enter about the agreement numbers and how many agreement dates, how many number of years you supposed to claim this exemption, and what would be the end date of this exemption, right? Those data you have to verify with your previous return submissions and enter the data which related for this exemption. After that, we can complete and you can see under 10.0 take the total value, right? Total value, and always on this code in hand the specific application, right? Every places where we use the zero, right? You have to take to the total value for the next steps. Mr. Chamle will explain other places as well, right? Then how it has happened. Always you have to get the remind that then if any places where you use the zero mean we already take the total sum value, this value should be bringing to the next steps, right? If there's a zero for subschedule, total value should be bringing to the schedules. If there's a schedule have the zero value, this should be bringing to the main return, right? Then if we just move into the main return, you can see 3 million value is reflecting on the main return under the case number 10, right? We complete the schedule 1. Now we move into the schedule 2, right? Schedule 2 having mainly having the summary, right? Summary separately allocated for business, investment and other, right? And first row reflecting the gain and profit, second row related with the losses, right? Every places where it has include some informations points, you can just mouse over there, then you can see the what are the guidelines which provide, right? I am supposed to discuss about gain and profit line, right? Then it is reflecting on same page under schedule 2A, right? Based on our previous calculation, based on our previous tax computations, we already identified what would be the value we have to mention here. We separated our profit and gain based on the activity code, right? Activity code you have to enter here, and on this company their main activity code is 201350. Once it is identified, automatically it is reflecting the nature of the business. Then we add the total turnover value here, right? And gain we mention. In addition to that, they are providing some engineering services, right? Then we select the relevant activity code and we mention the turnovers and gain and profit, right? In addition to that, there's a foreign business income we mention here. Likewise, we have to mention our specific business undertaking. If you are not enough to enter 5 rows, what you have to do is you have to just clicking on the add button and you can open the another line to enter these details. Likewise, you can break off this value for the based on the activity code and you can complete the business income under the schedule 2A1. Then schedule 2AB related with the investment income. As our preparations, we already identified there's a dividend income, right? Then out of this 3 million dividend, 2 million we identified as exempt. Here 1 million dividend income is liable for tax, and there's investment income, interest income we include here, and rent income they received we include here. Then they have a capital gain, right? We include here. Likewise, by separating based on the activity code number, we complete the schedule 2A 2 schedules, right? Then schedule 283, there was no any value here, right? Once this completions, right, those total value reflecting on the summary page, right? On the same schedule 2 summary include the value, right? Then this value should be reflecting business under business income. Then 110,431,429 reflected. For under the investment income, 3.1 million reflected. There was no any value for the other income, right? Likewise, whatever the result what we discuss from the tax computations, directly we can connect it here, right? But still we are not systematically connected, right? You should prepare the tax computations. Whatever the result you identified, you can bring it to here, and you can separate it, right? Then after that, we have to deduct the loss. Right, as I mentioned earlier, right, loss applications we establish under the part of the subschedules, right? Here you can click in on this, go to schedule 2B, that is reflecting the loss deductible value, right? Then Ms. Tamila continue with this part by explaining how loss would be entered and what are the behaviors, what are the specific things related with the loss, right? Those are discussed by the Ms. Tamila. Over to you, Tamila. Please continue here on.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. Actually, in this development, a little bit complex part is the filling the loss schedule, schedule 2B. Actually, we try to minimize the complexity by using technology. Then we try to provide the information, alert message on mistake, then what are the business rule calculation, auto calculation, and and also mainly structure, loss schedule structure. We have tried to mitigate the complexity. Then top part is the summary. For these cages value are captured from the subschedules. There are 4 subschedules. We can see schedule 2B1 related to business losses, and 2B2 specific loss deductions, and 2B3 investment losses, and also 2B4 foreign losses. Actually, why we divided like source wise? Then as per the IRD Act, current act, it is clearly mentioned we can claim losses from source wise and also rate wise. Then there is act provisions available for the when we discuss the source wise. Then you know about business losses. If you have business losses, you can claim from the against the investment profit, but you can't violate the rate rule. It means you can deduct the losses from same rate or lower rate. If there is a lower rate profit, you can, if there is you have higher rate losses, then you can claim the that higher rate losses from lower rate profit. Okay, and also if you have investment profit, then if you have business losses, in business losses can claim from investment profit, then same rate or lower rate profit. Okay, and other thing is foreign sources. When we discuss the foreign sources, only you can if you have foreign losses, only you can claim from the foreign profit, and also foreign business losses you can again claim against the foreign investment profit. Okay, then for that business act provisions, we have developed the schedule 2B by maintaining the 4 subschedules. Okay, then and also I like to mention small things. Then when Mr. Mahesh explanation in schedule 8, we try to save as timely, because if you are spending more than 5 minutes in a specific page, please make sure to go to the bottom of the screen and make a temp save, because actually schedule 8 and loss schedule 2B little bit lengthy. Therefore, when we have to spend more time to fill these 2 schedules, therefore you should remind to save a draft record timely. Okay, then as per our example, we have we provide the losses. Then brought forward business losses. Loss incurred in 2016-17 related to declared 24%, and loss incurred in 18-19 related to 14%, and also the brought forward losses available from 19-20 under 18% tax rate. Then I need to discuss regarding the 16-17 losses, because then these losses 16-17 these losses incurred from in 2016-17, and there is a balance amount, undeducted balance amount carried forward from 19-20. Now we are in 2021. Then that amount we have to consider as the 18-19 losses, because then according to the transitional provisions, we can claim 2016 incurred loss from previous law. Then you can declare as a current year loss in 18-19. Therefore, this amount we have considered as a 18-19 losses, brought forward losses. Then I have entered 500,000 in 18-19. This amount related into 16-17 loss incurred. Okay. Then 19-20 under 18 rate we have 45,000, and under 24 rate we have 500,000 losses, brought forward losses. Then total brought forward losses comes here 20, 10, 90, 20 and 30. Then during the year losses, as per our example, we have during the year losses. Then it has mentioned here, and total loss come as 1,500,000, and also likewise. Okay. Then gain and profit. During the gain and profit, we captured from the schedule 2A. Then you can I will show it when go to the schedule 2A. Then schedule 2A we have profit. Uh, 110 million losses. Then this profit, then this profit comes as a local business profit and foreign business profit. Then you need to enter value correctly here, because there is a rule. There is it means if you can't enter the higher profit than the 2A, then I have entered here 100 for 5 million, and also foreign profit 1 million. Okay, then this total to be equal to the schedule 2A business profit. Okay, when we enter the greater than that value, then error message has displayed as below. You can see the error message. Then you have to rectify this error. Then we provide the what is the rule given here. Okay. Then we need to if we should rectify this error, and then we can proceed the return. Without rectifying, we can't proceed it. Okay. Then this is the adjustment. Adjustment means if you have some losses, we can move. I have already described. We can move to the lower rate to lower rate profit, and also we can claim business losses from investment profit. Then we have provided this adjustment make here. Then if you wish to suppose like this, I have, as for our example, we have not available 40% loss amount, but for the instruction purpose, I have entered some value. Then 40% rate, there is a 100 rupee loss available. Then I have balance profit in here. Then we can claim these losses under this lower rate profit against the lower rate profit. Then so that we have to enter minus value in here. If we enter the minus more than this, then sorry, this error message has provided as follows. Then we have to clear the rectify this error. Then we can proceed it. I have deleted this amount because we use this is the loss transfer to investment. If there is a balance losses, carry forward losses, and taxpayer can claim from, if there is investment profit, you can claim this business losses from investment profit. Then you have to enter minus value here. Suppose 500. When I enter the 5 million, this loss more than the available loss, then error message as provided exceed the amount of loss available. Then I mistakenly enter the incorrect value. Therefore, I try to transfer 500,000, claim go to the investment profit. Then I should enter here, but there is no profit. Therefore, I can't claim from the investment because I have profit on 28%, but this losses incurred under the 14%. Therefore, I can't claim that. Then I remove this. Then these cases are provided for claim the business losses against from investment profit. Okay. Then this is the these cases mentioned for the claim in the specific losses. Then 2B2 is a specific loss deduction. So Mahesh already explained when he explanation in Schedule 8 explanation what is the investment incentive, and this company has ongoing in before 2016-17. Therefore we can't enter claim this loss in here. And also this is the leasing losses. This is the manufacturing company, not a leasing company. Therefore this section comes under the transitional gazette. If there is a company engaged in the leasing business and engaged in the leasing agreement before the 2018 April 1st, then that as per the transitional gazette, if there is any loss incurred, they can claim it from the any other business profit. Okay, then I am not going to enter values in here. Then I go to the save draft. Then this is the loss expired gauge. If you wish to remove the losses, not you are not hoping to carry forward the losses, then you can enter here. Then carry forward loss will be minus. If you wish, you can enter full amount or part amount. Okay, then this is the carry forward gauge amount. Then you need to fill the carry forward breakup as per the your loss incurred. Okay, then you can enter this as you wish, but internally we have matched with the previous year return. Then at that time you have to rectify those issues. Then therefore before submission you should take care about that because otherwise your return will be delayed, processing will be delayed. Okay, then you can see the total loss, business loss claim amount in here. These total loss deductible cases 20B 17, 97, 27 and 37, these total comes to here 20B 40. This value populated to summary part. Then you can see the value here 545,000 business losses. Then same as the above business loss schedule, this is the investment losses. This schedule also same structure we have maintained. Then there are breakup for the loss brought forward amount and during the amount, and total value comes here. Then you need to mention the investment profit here. You can't exceed the investment profit what you have available investment profit. Then if you have exceeded that amount, we have displayed the error message. You can't process the return further. Then you need to enter correct value. Okay. Then same as the same as the business loss schedule. Then this is the transferring cage higher rate to lower rate. Then if you have higher rate loss, you can transfer to lower rate if there is a lower rate profit available. Okay. Then also when we deduct in the loss, when we transfer to business loss from investment profit, then when you enter the minus value in here, and then it should be enter as a plus value in here. Otherwise we have to we already provide the message when you enter the value in one place. Okay. Then loss deductible total comes here, and same as loss expired cage, and also loss carried forward breakup. In this cage total comes to here as a deductible losses. Okay. Then foreign loss schedule also we have maintained same structure. Then I am not going to explain much more. Then you can see the as our example. There is foreign business profit 1 million and brought forward business losses 50,000. You can claim the 50,000, and this value goes to here. Okay. Then total business losses calculated as the 595 and total investment loss calculated as 100. Then these two values go to the AI, calculating the AI in schedule 2A. Now I have entered, then I will go back and show you how to AI has been calculated. Okay. Back. Then you can see the AI has, how to AI has been calculated. Okay. Okay. Next, I will move to the schedule 3. Schedule 3 qualifying payment. I think you all are familiar with this one because you have worked on this screen for the last 5 years. Okay. This is the summary part. Section A, B, C are relevant for the current law, and Section D has been removed due to expiration. That is why it is the inactive mode here. E to H are continue for the claims for qualifying payment under previous act as per the transitional gazette. Then, as per our example, we have declared the two qualifying payment. One is the COVID fund, and other one is the 2000 previous act comes the government donation. Some amount donate the government, and balance carry forward amount has been available, and from the 1920 we have here COVID fund. Then this is the undeducted qualifying payment comes from the previous act. Okay. Then total qualifying payment 1.5 million. It goes to the summary part. Then this amount populated to main return cage 60. We have Mr. Mahesh already explained. We have maintained the cage number ordering. Then accordingly this populated to main return. Okay. Then I will move to the next schedule, schedule 4. Schedule 4 is the tax on taxable income. Then the rate code table we have published in the web portal. I already described that. And then you should choose what are the applicable rates codes and select from that. Select from the drop down list. Enter the taxable value at the special rate. Then you can see the balance tax at the normal rate. Okay. Then as per our example, we have capital some gain on realization of investment asset profit. Then it taxed under 10%, then we need to declare here what is that amount, and then balance amount tax at the normal rate. No need to find the special tax rate code for the normal tax rate. Okay. Then these three values are populated to main return in page 80, 90, and 100 respectively. Okay. Then I will show you how the tax calculated populated into main return. Okay. Right. Then I will move to the schedule 5. Schedule 5 is the remittance. I'm not going to explain much detail because here also there are no difference, same as what you have used for the last 5 years. Then if you have, this schedule mainly related with the non-resident entities. Then if there is amount remitted to return abroad, then or return abroad out of the profit, then you have to declare here, and you need to declare the breakup in here. And as per our example, there is no remittance tax. There is a resident company. Therefore, we go to next page, next schedule. Actually, this is the schedule 6. This time there is some changes. Then we top part is this schedule is structured as a 2 sub-schedule. Schedule 6A, receipt of final withholding payment, and the other one is receipt of final. The one is NGO. Okay, non-government tax receipt or grant donation to non-resident, non-governmental organization, NGO. Then this is the top part is the summary part. Which values are available here? Liabilities are available here. In these come to this value come to here. Then total withholding payment and additional tax on NGO values go to the main return, page 120. Then as per our example, we have 300,000 lottery winning. Then we have declared in here amount and breakup. We should fill the breakup here. Okay. If you enter some value erroneously, you can find the error message. Then you have to rectify this. Okay, as I earlier mentioned. Then I will go to next schedule. Schedule 7, credit schedule. Credit schedule, if you have, then this is the, if you have foreign tax credit, as for our example, we have 20,000 foreign tax credit to pay the tax paid at IRAS, Singapore Tax Authority. Then we can declare here and declare here. If there is other relief, you have to declare here. Then mainly schedule 7 is structured under the 2 topics: non-refundable credits and refundable credits. Non-refundable credits mean we can't claim this credit as a refund. Then refundable credit, directly cash related amount. Then if you have excess amount, you can claim the refund. Okay. Then as per given example, there is a realized CGT payment 50,000 and also withholding credit and a self-assessment payment 200. Then we have entered here. Then total income tax refund available from previous year. Then actually if you have a previous year refund, you can enter here, but those are not considered in the tax credit calculation. That is just for information purpose. Then actually it is important to declare here if you have any refund, because it provides the guidance to IRD officer also what you have available refunds. Okay, then I go to next schedule, schedule 7A. Schedule 7A in ESC credit schedule. If you have any brought forward ESC amount, you can declare here. Then as per given example, there is a 200,000 brought forward ESC credit, and you can claim fully it. If you wish, you can edit this value. Then you can carry forward the balance amount to the next year. Then I claim only 10,000. Then balance have been carried forward to next year. Then only if you have 18-19 ESC balance ESC brought forward, you can't carry forward that amount to the next year, because already after 2021 it has been expired. Okay. Then I'm not changed the value. I wish to total deduct this amount. Okay. Then I will move to the next schedule, schedule 7B. Schedule 7B means withholding tax credit schedule. If you have withholding tax credit claim, you need to declare here, and also you have to submit the CSC schedule for the claim this credit. I believe you all aware about the CSC schedule format, and because the VAT, payee, WHT, and those tax type also have schedule, CSV schedule, and you should verify your schedule before submitting to the department. Then after the validation success, you can upload to the web portal. Okay. Then if you have balance brought forward from last year, you can declare here. And if there is during the deducted amount, you can claim those amount, and brought forward amount can be carried forward only if there is a advance related WHT credit. Otherwise, you can't carry forward that amount. Okay. Then, as per our example, we have 145,000 withholding credit. Then we declared here and claimed during the period. Okay. Then I will move to the next schedule, notional tax credit schedule. Then this notional tax, if you have notional tax credit, it cannot be carried forward further. Only can claim up to 2021 as per the transitional provision. Therefore, you have to enter here and you can claim. Otherwise, this credit will be expired. Okay. Actually, then now I will move to the main schedule, schedule 7, and show you how to calculate the total tax credit. Then you can see non-refundable total credit available 420,000 and total refundable credit available 395,000. Total tax credit available 815 without 50,000. Then this value populated to main return page 140. Okay. Then you can see the what is the total balance tax payable amount. Total balance tax payable amount is 19,557,557.22. Okay. Then I have completed the up to schedule 7 in a main return balance tax payable. Then you can continue the schedule 9 and up to submission point. And during this session, we will hope to answer your question. Okay. Mahesh, can you take?
Thank you, Ms. Kamila. Right. We are going to the schedule 9. I think you already get the good idea about how we are going to how we need to complete schedule 2 to schedule 7, right? Then on these questions we add in many things to do some explanation. Hopefully on your questions, most probably they you would not that much data here, right? Then simply you can complete it. But while we discuss, while we explain, we supposed to explain whatever the possible extent by using the example, right? Schedule 9. We are going to discuss here, but mainly we can identify there's a two part, schedule 9A and schedule 9B, right? Schedule 9A mainly having the places where you have to input the financial informations. Partly you have to get in from the income statement, other details you have to get in from the financial portion statement, right? Then first first table, that is you have to include the gross profit, then comprehensive income, other comprehensive income, tax provisions. Then under your sales you can identify the what is the your credit sales, what is the your credit purchases, gross remuneration during the period, and terminal benefit during the period. Likewise, those details which connected with your income statement, right? And second part, you have to mention about the item which connected to the balance sheet, trade receivable due from the related parties, trade payable due to related parties, and provision for bad debt and doubtful debts, right? Opening balances and closing balances. Sometimes you may think, why again we need to enter this value which is taken from the financial statement. Why again we are uploading this financial statement as well? Actually, on once we, although we collected financial instrument statement up to now, right? That should be allocated some capacity to store that, right? And it would be impact to the performance of the system process as well. Therefore, we have to some plan to collect the whatever the important details from by using the schedules 9 on future period, right? Then after this implementation, then we will should be evaluated that whether we collect the financial statement with the return, or we just get the information through the schedule 9. And if it is required, we call this financial information from the taxpayers. For that purpose, actually we are taking these informations, right, on future period with the directions or development. We will move into the up to that extent, right? Schedule 9B mainly cover the two part, transfer pricing requirements and auditor details, as well as the taxpayer comments, right? Then Transpricing requirements, you have to select whether transpricing is applicable or not. Under the transpricing, what are the things you have to complete it? Then under schedule section, what are the amounts, aggregate value it is included. Likewise, those details should be included which related for the transpricing, right? Then schedule 29B, right? And second part, you have to mention about the auditor's name and TIN number and auditor's opinion. Either it is clear opinion or unmodified opinion or modified opinion. Under this unmodified and modified opinion, right? Then they need to click which type of opinion they are going to, they already given by the taxpayer, right? And in addition to that, there's a place where you have to enter the specific details which related for your computation. Sometimes there would have been some specific details which related for your company, industries, and specific items, right? Based on this given place, you can use to emphasize this thing which connected to the tax computations, right? Then here you on this taxpayer, he's supposed to enter here. Profit on specific undertaken was calculated separately and attached the as supporting documents. Qualified payment has been deducted when calculating the taxable profit under the tax rate at rate of 24%. Likewise, specific thing you can enter here.
Next, we will move to the confirmation page. Then click on the confirmation page. You can see the what are the values you have entered in here. Then you can go through the all return data, and you can check the correctness of those, and then in the bottom you can see the button. Then there is a upload documents button now and later. If you wish to submit document later, you can click on here. Then otherwise, if you wish to upload with together with the return other documents, then you can click on now. Then when you click on now, this upload supporting documents button is enabling. Okay, then click on, then there is another button, amend, print, submit for approval, and also cancel. Okay, then in the I will move to the upload supporting document UI. Then I have to click the I supposed to upload the document. In another one I will upload, then balance sheet. Then go to here. First we check the tick box and go down and select the supporting document, and then we can select the sub document type, balance sheet. I will select the balance sheet and go to select file and try to upload the document. Then you can see that comes here. Then when I save, it has been properly saved into the UI. Okay. Then now ready to submit the return, but you can't submit directly to the IRD because we are login by using the prepare SSID. Therefore, you have to submit to for approval. Then after the approval login, you can submit the return to the IRD. Then I go to here, submit for approval. Nice. Now, are you okay?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Continue the session. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Then up to this submission of the approval, we can discuss here. Once it is clicked for the approval, you can see there's a status mentioned as a pending approval, right? This should be reviewed by the approver, and approver review the entire details. If it is okay, he can have an authority to submit to the department, right? Then now here we complete the prepare part. Thereafter we can log in through the approval, right? Taking small time to log in for the approval while set this approval password and all that. We will give an answer for your questions, right? Then already we complete the preparations and we submit for the approval. Next point, we log in through the approval and we find out the data which completed by the preparer, right? And we are going to complete this. Actually, if you're concerned about the tax agent point of view, if any tax consultant, if you take the registration as a tax agent, right? Then same like a preparer, you can prepare tax return for your client, right? No need to send through the mail or no need to send via the post for a draft one. What you have to do is, firstly, you should get registered and you should inform to your TIN number to the client by using their admin password. Then tax agent can be authorized to prepare the return, right? Then you can have the authority to prepare. Your staff can be have the authority to prepare the return. Then thereafter you can submit for approval. Submit for approval. If there's any changes should be taken place, what you have to do is you can send this approval after reviewing that by the client. If there's anything need to be changed, they can rework to you. Likewise, by using this facility, you can use your normal process flow within this system, right? Again, I mentioned that until you submit the return, we can't see any informations. We can't see any information, any amendments, what you did for your draft level, right? Only thing is the department can see what is the status behind this, like what's the mean of that, how many draft entries available, how many entries which under the pending approval. Likewise, some status we can identify during this return submissions process, right? Therefore, I propose and I suggest that no need to wait until the last date, right? Then what you have to do is you have to start by opening the draft form return. You feed the data what you require, right? Step by step basis, you can complete your return, right? Thereafter, after completing the entire verification and after completing the entire computations, you can submit your return, company tax return by using the approver thing, right? Okay, I think Chavila already log in by using the approver password, right? Then you can see a second entry, right? It shows that a pending approval, right? By clicking on this entry, and we're supposed to proceed, right? We're supposed to proceed. Once it is processed, we can see the entire return, right? Entire return, but prepare it, right? What are the schedules he selected? Likewise, by using the next button, approver can be review each and every schedules, or either using the hyperlink, he can go to the schedules, right? Then everything, every schedule 1, 2, like everything he can review. He can review the uploaded document, right? He can review the declarations, right? He can review the tax computations, right? He can review the entire thing by just creating the confirmation page, right? Then confirmation page that he created, and see whether this computation is okay, right? All the detail is already entered, those are correct. Likewise, put a review point process you can do as a approver, right? Then at the end of this uh, confirmation page, if you need to amend, you can do the amend, right? If you need to get printout, you can do the printout, right? If you think, right, this return is almost okay, then you can click the submit button, right? Likewise, if once it is click this save one, it is providing, you can save as a PDF as well, right? That facility is available, right? By using the facility available, you can save as a PDF, right? This is a PDF format. And if you need to rework to your preparer, or you need to rework to your tax agent, right? You can just click on this by adding some reason for rework, right? Reason you can have to enter what is being, what are things you need to refer to do the rework, right? And if you need to upload the supporting document, right? You can just uh, click the supporting document uploading button, and you can see the what are the documents you already uploaded by the preparer or tax agent. What are the new things you need to upload it, right? Likewise, we can do that, but here we supposed to do the submission, right? By using the approver, we supposed to do the submissions. Then we clicking on this submission button, and get some clarity, and thereafter quickly prepare the acknowledgement page, right? What are the things you added, and what are schedules, subschedules, and other documents you uploaded? Everything show here, right? Auditor opinion and balance sheet. Likewise, everything is mentioned, and on you can see on here on this same document is clearly mentioned on which date you complete the self-assessment submissions, right? Submissions, then actually why are you sending through the e-service, you already submit your return and schedules, therefore directly department can be issue the acknowledgement for return, so self-assessment return, right? Then but previous years it may not be like this. You firstly you issue the receipt of return document, thereafter observe review whether they submitted the return and schedules confirm, thereafter issue the acknowledgement for a self-assessment document. But here directly it is issue this, and but for other documents, right, it is refer for officer and verify with the documents. If there's anything need to be identified as incompleted, then the officer will be issue the notice 3, right? Within given period you have to complete those documents, right? This is the thing actually including this acknowledgement page, right? We complete entire process, right? We complete the entire process, by preparing the tax computations and completing the schedules, sub-schedules, and do the update, see the confirmation page, do the updation of the documents. Ultimately, we do the submissions, and you can just get the printout. And if once you click the printout, if you think right on this point, if it is not possible to get the printout, then you can you need to save. For that purpose also, you can, there's options. You can just click the PDF format and you can do the save this item, right? After do submissions, right, if you see the status of the return and schedules by just clicking the return and schedules management, right, you can see now, right, that is related to the second one, right, 2021 year. Now status change as a submitted, right? Your return completely submitted, right? Likewise, we can see that. Okay, then entirely process we completed. Now time to discuss about the questions, right? We hope that we explain whatever the possible much as possible, right? Then you on your side you would get the idea, right? Most of your questions would maybe clear out, and again this video you can see by using the department YouTube channel, right? You can just refer with the FB page, as well as you can just get the subscriptions with the department YouTube channel. Then quickly once video uploaded, you can see this, right? Now time to discuss about the questions. We will start the Q&A session forum, right? If anything you need to discuss, please forward to us. We will address for this. Then one question provided to us: is it compulsory filing CIT return through e-service from 2021? Yeah, it is compulsory e-service submissions with effect from 2021. Right, some of them may argue this is past. This act is amended with effect from 1st April 2021. But it's very clear, if any return which after submit on that date should be a e-filing submissions. Therefore, 2021 return should be submit through the e-service, right? Then next question is that then they ask how to submit the Schedule 8 calculations for different tax rate. Actually, this Schedule 8 is mainly considered about the total preparations. After just getting these preparations, you can separate it based on the activity code, as well as you have to separate it based on the tax rate applications, right? Then up to now, this tax computation sheet is only provided to prepare overall assessable income from business and investment income. On near future, we will develop up to this separation for activity code and tax type as well.
Another question raised regarding the SSID's login. I get the SSID, but I can't log in. How to get new SSID or relogin? Actually, we identify what is the exact error occur. Then accordingly, we have to address that. Then if you have admin password and admin account activated, then you can reset your SSID details as I described earlier. If you further query, please contact us. We will show our contact detail. Then I will help you to resolve your issue. Okay, and also how another question raised: how to change the company detail like address, email, and phone numbers through online. Yes, it is possible. Then when you log in as a approved SSID with the approved SSID, I will show how what you have to follow. Then in a approved SSID, there is a tax registration and change taxpayer detail request, then by using this UI, you can forward the request to change the your detail. Then after that, department will update the your profile detail.
Yeah, next one asks with regard to the leasing allowance. Actually, there's no any specific place to enter the leasing allowance. What you have to do is under the schedule 8, there's a blank places. You have to calculate the leasing allowance, and this value you can mention that place, and you can deduct the leasing allowance by using this blank place. Actually, leasing allowance is not relevant for the present provisions. It has connected with the previous law until you complete this whatever the leasing contract which starting before the 31st before 1st April 2018. Then you have to get it. Well, then you have to enter on the given blank space. Other one is asked whether transfer pricing disclosure form should be attached or uploaded. Yes, if you see this list of the uploaded document, there's a place you can just click in on this and you can upload the transfer pricing disclosure form with connected with the tax return.
Then another question, is it compulsory to file CIT return through e-filing for year of assessment 2021? Yes, actually, you should have to submit. It is the mandatory requirement for the company and government organization. NGO clubs and other society can submit the manual return, but actually we hope you all are we all are using the e-service for the CIT return submission.
Yeah, another question is focused with regard to the format of the approved account certificate. Actually, it was decided due to requests come from the approved accountant and chartered institution and all that. Then still not publish the format. Right? Near future, definitely it is provide the format. Then based on this, you can prepare this certificate. You have to upload as a supporting document. Question, there's one question, is there is a provisions to obtain the printout of draft after saving it? Yes, actually once you once you enter the details and you just save as a temporary save, then you go to the confirmation page and you can take the printouts, right? Any point of your preparations you can get the printout. Then after submit also you can get the printouts, right? Then that facility is available to you. Yeah, another question focus about the exempt company need to file all the schedules. Actually, once you refer with the qualified questions, right, most of the schedules, if it is not relevant, you can just click in as a no. Then you have to complete return schedule 2, schedule 4 and schedule 7, right? Those are also, if there's no any details, quickly you can complete the subschedules and you can submit the return, right? This once you properly refer with the qualified questions and you select what you required depend on the company details available, then easily you can complete your return, right? That's why we provide the qualified questions to tailor-made your requirements. There's one question focus about that. Is there any change when submitting the return as a super user? No, if a super user in the sense approver, right? If after reviewing, if approver decide no need to change anything regarding the preparations, right? He may not do any changes, but he may identify he can do the changes, right? Super user or approver having the ultimate responsibility to submit the complete and correct return, right? And other thing is that when you are submitting the return, always you have to think how we submit the correct and complete return, right? Then once you prepare in the manual return, sometimes you may think up to that extent, right? But for regarding this e-submissions, definitely you have to concern about the complete and comprehensive return, right? Why every information is collected by the system and they analyze and see whether there is any deviation with that, right? Therefore, you mainly concern how we are doing the complete and comprehensive return. If you are not so, what happen later stage, then officers may call and ask the balance informations. That would be another time to attend for this details submissions as well.
There is a question. In how many years can we claim our ESC payment? Actually, if there is a unclaimed ESC amount for the 1920, you can claim it from 21st 22, 20 and 22. Then after the 16-17 year of assessment, 16-17 year of assessment onwards, you can only claim the 3 years. Then therefore 1920 already 18-19 has been expired from 2021, and 1920 you can claim another 1 year of assessment. Then 1920, 2021 and 21-22. After that you can claim ESC, and we hope to remove the ESC schedule from the income tax return also.
Right. Another question with regard to the refund. Already you declared for the previous period, right? The question is that if the tax refunds are just disclosed, where can we claim the refund as a tax credit? It is under the self-assessment payment. Now it is not possible. Self-assessment payment is that during this period, whatever the exact payment you did, right? Then if there's any refunds available, what you have to do is at the end of the schedule 7 there is a space, right? Whatever the remaining refunds you supposed to set off with this particular liability, you can mention on that particular cage what already allocated, right? When when department going to take in some collection action, officer will concern about this case and see whether this outstanding would arise due to previous unfinalized refund, right? Then without finalizing the refund, previous refund, then you may not be possible to take as a credit. Only thing is that you have declared those refund availability, then department will concern about that.
Another question, does exempt company need to fill all schedules? Actually, no. If you have not declared any values for the losses, qualifying payment, WHT, and likewise, you have not needed to select those qualifying conditions, and just only you need to submit exempt schedule with mandatory schedules. Mandatory schedules mean Schedule 2, Schedule 4 and Schedule 7. Schedule 2 means profit, business profit schedule. Schedule 4 is tax rate schedule, and you have to declare you have no tax liability. You should confirm that, and also you should confirm you have no any credits claim. Then only you need to submit those schedules with return.
There's another questions. If there's any deadline, if we submit the supporting document after returns filing deadline through the upload supporting document, which is relevant to return of the income. Actually, once you complete return and schedules, your complete return, then essay return is completed, right? Actually, then other documents related with the other informations. If you are not submitted, then definitely officer will review and call from your from you, right? Better what you have to do is we propose that once you submit, as soon as possible, whatever the relevant document should be uploaded by using the uploading document UI which is provided, right? Then if time taken, definitely officer will be asked the document. If you are not providing, then penalty will be imposed. Therefore, to mitigate that type of extended steps, better what you have to do is you have to immediately upload the supporting documents. Yeah, another question is focus about that the approve and prepare the status and say approver can straightforward enter or prepare the return and submit. Yeah, it is possible, right? If your company only one person prepare the tax computations and all that, same person is authorized, right? No need to use the approve and prepare two SSIDs. Then by using the approver, you can complete the entire process and you can do the submissions. No restrictions. You can follow that approach as well. There's another questions with regard to the Schedule 8. It asks about that whether it is compulsory or it is mandatory requirement. Actually, up to this, we are not. It is keep as a mandatory requirement, right? It is provide as it is convenient for taxpayer, but we propose that on the Schedule 8 development, you can straightforward include the data, right? Easily you can identify your tax related tax computations figures, right? By using the direct entering income and expense deductions. Once it is provide the details on that basis, department side also easily identified. There would not be having much more queries to understand this your business and understand about your computations, right? That's why we proposed you have to complete the Schedule 8 and submit the return, right? Definitely on next period, this part also become a mandatory. Up to now, there is some convenience. If any person, if it is not yet familiar with the Schedule 8, then it is provide the chance to give their own tax computations. But definitely, near future, it would be take as a mandatory part. Yeah, one question asks if it is contact on these numbers, can we get any queries? Actually, this team is mainly engaged for the CIT development, right? Myself, Chamila, and other team, right? The entire team we mainly focus for CIT, right? Therefore, you can ask the questions which related for the CIT mainly, right? If other things also, if it is uh, provide which related for the Ramish, then we can provide the answers, right? Then especially those period you can contact these officers for CIT return submissions.
There is another question. Is there any possibility to carry forward ESC without claiming the current year? Yes, as you wish, you can carry forward your ESC from incurred. You have credit incurred in the 1920 only. Otherwise, 1819 ESC credit has been expired.
Another question is focus. Can we give staff authorities to our audit firm to submit the CIT return? Actually, best practice is audit firm should be take a tax agent registration, right? Then by using this tax agent registration, then audit firm can be provide service to their client. That is a good practice. But for the time being, sometimes companies would provide SSID to the audit firm to handle this matter. But on our side, we can't give the recommendation for this process. We suggest that audit firm should be registered as a tax agent. Through this facility available, they should provide service to this particular their client.